It's crazy when you go on a serious, like aggressive cut, a lot happens in 3 to 6 months. I think my first cut was 26 weeks. So it was about 6 months.
Yeah.
And I ended up dropping somewhere around like 40 to 45 pounds in 6 months.
That's crazy. What's up, everyone? It's a beautiful day, and we got Miss Amber Hennesy in the building today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're Amber Hennesy. She's a gym owner here in St. Augustine, Florida, and we're going to dive into her story, how she got into the fitness space. You do bodybuilding, right?
Yes.
Business owner. She's very inspirational, and I'm excited to share her story with you guys today. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's
Excited to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So, right out the gate, for those who don't know you, who is Amber Hennesy?
So, hello, I'm Amber Hennesy, owner and founder of Hennesy Fitness. I'm a mother of two crazy little boys, a wife, a fitness, I guess you could say fitness enthusiast, but it's more fitness obsessed. Yeah, that's pretty much who I am.
Are you from St. Augustine originally, or
Born and raised. Born and bred, yep.
Never left?
Never left,
Okay.
and I don't want to.
Don't plan on it?
Yeah.
That's cool. That was the second question. How did fitness enter your life in a serious way? What got you into it?
So, I've always been into fitness, but it wasn't until bodybuilding that I really got serious. That's when I really learned the ins and outs of, nutrition and how it goes hand in hand with exercise, with movement. So yeah, it wasn't until I got introduced to bodybuilding, and I think it was 2020 when I really started getting hardcore into bodybuilding.
What inspired you to get into bodybuilding? That's like I see the pictures and the dieting, and I've never done it, but I know it's difficult and challenging.
Yeah,
so
it definitely is. I always was admirable to bodybuilding physiques in men and women. Always thought it was just a really attractive look, I thought. And I never thought I could do it. Mm-hmm. But one day I just decided I was going to try. I had a friend that is a coach and also a professional bodybuilder, and I had trained with her prior. So after having my babies, she helped me lose weight. And I reached out to her one day. I just decided I was going to pull the trigger and see if she had an opening for a client for bodybuilding prep. And she didn't the first time I reached out. So I took that as a sign. About a year later, I reapproached her and she had an opening. And basically, the rest is history. We just took off from there. I decided that I wasn't only going to do it, I was going to do it better than anybody could ever imagine. And ever since then, we've just been riding the wave and prepping and bulking and cutting and bulking and building up the physique that I have now. And it's taken about 4 years to get to where I'm at. But yeah, that's kind of what got me started, was really her, and knowing that I had her to help me.
That's prep. Cool. Do you mind sharing who that coach is?
Yeah. So she's not only one of my good friends, she's an amazing coach. Her name's Laura Norton. She's also a hustler. She has 2 babies. She's married. So I admired her. She was big inspiration, based off of what she's been able to achieve in her life and all the things she's juggling. So it's kind of cool to work alongside another really powerful woman.
Yeah. Yeah, that's super cool. Mm-hmm. Walk us through. So you're thinking about it, you call, you commit to it, and then what's that first 3 months, 6 months like? Walk us through that.
My first prep, I don't want to say it was easy because that's not true, but it was, in a sense that I just didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. So it was exciting. For the first time in my life, I really recompositioned my body. I'd never changed my body like that before, ever in my life. So just the results weekly really kept me moving forward. But yeah, sorry, what was the question?
The first 3 months, 6 months.
Okay, yeah.
I guess I'm just trying to is it obviously it has a lot to do with dieting, and like obviously you were already super into fitness, so
Yeah.
you probably just got more dialed in your fitness. But I
Yeah,
feel like,
more dialed. She taught me how to track macros
Yeah.
and track my own individual macros.
uh,
The first 3 to 6 months, from what I remember, were surprising because I was actually eating a way more food than I ever had before, but losing weight. So I learned firsthand that I wasn't eating enough.
yeah,
And so those first 3 to 6 months, it was a wake up call for sure. It made me realize that I was eating too much of one thing that wasn't progressing me to getting that physique that I dreamed of.
yeah.
So the first 3 to 6 months was more just, wake up call. But a lot happened in that first. It's crazy when you go on a serious, like aggressive cut, a lot happens in 3 to 6 months. I think my first cut was 26 weeks. So it was about 6 months.
Yeah.
And I ended up dropping somewhere around like 40 to 45 pounds in 6 months.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. The before and afters were insane. And that, again, that's what really, I think, got people who looked, who were watching, they took me more seriously when I got into bodybuilding in the fitness industry.
Yeah, it's crazy how like you would think like if the more you eat and the more you lift, like you're just gonna gain, you're gonna gain weight, but it's like kind of like the opposite.
Yeah, and it definitely depends on what you're eating. You know, the more whole foods you're eating, your body's gonna respond better to a whole food diet.
What's like the most common thing that you eat on your normal
in my normal life?
I guess now, like your lifestyle now.
I eat a lot of egg whites.
Egg whites?
They're just easy, clean. Yeah, I go through you'd buy like the cartons. I'll go through like one a day.
Yeah. For practice or just like throughout the day?
Throughout the day. Sometimes not one a day, but yeah, I definitely put away some egg whites for sure.
Yeah. I usually eat like 3 to 4 eggs for breakfast every day.
Nice.
Four times a week, but
yeah,
the whole egg, not just egg whites.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. Let's see here. Okay, so when was your first competition and what was that like?
First competition was in 2022. So actually I started in 2021. I think earlier I said 2020, but it was 2021. Mm-hmm. It was not at all what I expected. Like I was super excited. You prep for months and it's really, really intense. And it's all for just this one day. And what's funny about show day is it's like the best day of the season, but it's also kind of the worst because it's a lot. Like it's very, very stressful. It's a lot of stress on the body and the mind.
Where was it?
My first one was in Boca Raton at the Triumph Classic. And it went really good. I got the top 5 in my first show. So, I mean, I was stoked. First call outs, top 5. It was a really good first show. I remember getting on stage and that's what I wasn't prepared for was the adrenaline. Yeah. I was shaking like aggressively and I could feel, it felt like I was going to just like faint at any moment. But I noticed when I was backstage watching the other girls go on, they were all really shaky too.
Everyone's nervous. Yeah.
Ooh, it was.
Some just hide it better than others. Yeah.
Yeah. I have never felt adrenaline like that before. So it was like when I got off stage, the rush was so harsh that I had like a migraine. It was crazy. So that was unexpected. I didn't expect me to be that nervous. But first show was amazing. And as soon as I came off stage from finals, I was like, all right, when's the next show? Like I was completely addicted. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What keeps you what keeps you locked in when you're that nervous? Like what were you thinking about to hold it together and make a top 5 on your first performance?
I think it's just like you look back on all the time you've put in to get there and there's just no going back. Like there almost isn't even a thought. You're just like, okay, we're going to do this. Like it's all the discipline wrapped around it. You just can't go back on it. So just locking in, period. Just getting up there and doing the damn thing.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I've had some times in my life where in the military, or yeah, when you're walking out in front of a bunch of first sergeants and captains and officers, and it's like you're in your uniform, and it's
Yeah.
like all like I can remember sometimes like that, or when you're walking into like an important business meeting, or the birth of your first kid, it's like super nerve wracking, but you just got to do it, and
Yeah, you just make it happen.
yep, step up to the occasion. Yeah, so that kind of leads into the next question. Bodybuilding obviously requires extreme discipline, so where does that mental toughness come from?
So I wasn't always mentally tough like this. Honestly, it's something like the mental toughness that I have is something I created. I had to create, excuse me. I had to create it. It was almost like, so I'm sure you guys know who David Goggins is. He's like, I love him.
Yeah.
He's relentless. He's kind of my role model. Um, and he talks about in some of his podcasts or in his motivational speeches how he was David and had to create David Goggins.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I think of myself, is like I was Amber and I had to create Amber Hennesy.
Mm-hmm.
So the discipline, the mental fortitude is 100% purely something I built day by day by messing up,
Mm-hmm.
successes, failures, all of it. Yeah, it's just something you have to create. I think people think it's something people just have,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. I did not always have it. I had to create it.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, my brother, he did the 4x4x48 challenge. That's like I think David Goggins created it.
Oh, okay.
It's you run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
Oh my God.
And like you can sleep if you want, but you have to, like clockwork, 8 a.m., noon, 4, 8, midnight.
Wow.
So you do that for, I think it ends up being 48 miles.
Dang.
But yeah, you do that, and he did it.
I could see him doing
Yeah,
that.
it's crazy. Like the hardest part, I think was like the midnight and the 4 a.m. one.
Yeah.
Because like you're just
Getting
getting tired, and you sleep for 30
Relentless.
minutes and you wake up like all
Yeah.
with the jitters. Next question. How has competing shaped your mindset outside the gym?
Outside the gym, so competing, or I guess like preparing to compete, has shaped my mindset. Just again, it's that discipline. It's made me a lot more consistent with other things in my life.
Like what?
That's a good question. Like just like my overall training, my overall what I have to get done in a day. Like it's just it's like clockwork for me. Like whatever's on my to-do list, I'm going to check that box, whether it's cold, whether it's raining, whether it's hot, whether I woke up and it's a bad day or a good day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't allow myself to have excuses. So preparing to compete has shaped my mindset outside the gym in a way of just being relentless.
Yeah.
It
turns like it makes the you become a professional as opposed to just like an amateur, like dipping your toe in the water. Like your diet stays the same even when you're on vacation. You got your shit that you got
even off season. I keep it tight.
Yeah.
And it's just like even the simplest things of like cleaning the house. Like I'm a bit of a perfectionist, which is a blessing and a curse all in once, or all in one. But yeah, outside the gym, it's just like every single thing I do is definitely like 100% is put into it.
Yeah, that's cool. What's a setback that's helped shape who you are today, or a challenge, something that happened?
So a setback and a challenge, the first thing that comes to mind, and the only thing really, is when I lost my dad in 2022. Yeah, it was a couple months after my first show. So I was really excited that he got to be a part of the process of my first competition season, but that definitely rocked my world. It was the first time in my life that I realized that like people actually die. And for the first few months, it was quite the setback. I struggled with a lot of binge eating, for sure. Even some binge drinking here and there. I kind of like didn't know who I was for a little bit there. And then one day I had this moment where it was almost like my dad was shaking me and saying, like, what are you doing? Like, get your shit together. Mm-hmm. And I listened, and I did. And I decided I was going to prep again. Like, from that moment, I needed to do something really hard. And I knew exactly what to do. Mm-hmm. So I ended up prepping for another season and doing 3 back-to-back shows that season, getting top 5 in all 3 shows. But losing my dad was definitely a challenge and a step, and it still is very challenging. But in some ways, it's what really projected me forward from then on, because losing someone who's that important to you in your life, I feel like for some, it can go different directions, but for me, it really showed me that I wanted to chase every goal, every dream I ever had. Not only to make him proud, but just because that's what life is. I didn't want me, when my time comes, to not have been a badass.
Yeah. Sorry to hear about your dad. Yeah.
Thank you.
My brother and I, we lost our dad last year. So
sorry.
Yeah, it's tough. But
yeah, it's definitely.
What are some of your daily non-negotiables? Things that have to happen no matter what? So
mine are silly and simple. Coffee in the morning. It's a non-negotiable.
Black or with cream?
I do creamer. I do, there's the Silk brand. They have this creme brulee creamer. It's so fire. So I do that. But I have to have my coffee. Like, I'll go to bed at night excited for my coffee in the morning. That's a non-negotiable. Another simple one, I get a minimum of 1 gallon of water in a day. Usually 1.5 gallons, but that's just something for me that is like it's a must do. Movement, whether or not that's training or just walking, getting your steps in, that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of my simple.
With the water, do you have like a huge jug, or you just have like a regular jug, you just fill it up a bunch of times?
So when I'm prepping, I usually have a big jug so I can consistently track my water, because it's funny, when you're prepping, it's every single thing that goes in or out is accounted for. So I keep my water, the amount of water in season, very, very like the same every day. Off season, it's still a minimum of 1 gallon, but I don't walk around with my giant jug. I usually just will refill some bottles, but I still track. I still make sure I'm tracking how much I'm getting in. And
do you use an app, or do you write it down, or mentally?
No, I just
mental.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have my like 20-ounce, twist off thing, and I'm always. Some days I'm good about it, where I have like 3 or 4, and then other days I'll forget. So yeah, would you say water is like really crucial? Like, even if you're not?
I think it's a very underrated tool when it comes to body recomposition. Yeah. Water and walking are the 2 things that I feel like people don't utilize enough. But water, I mean, it helps to push.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, like, I've had people ask, won't drinking more water make you like retain more water? But it's the opposite. It helps you stay tighter. It will tighten you right up. Yeah, water is 100% vital when it comes to fitness goals, physique goals.
Cool.
Definitely, I think, at least.
Just drink water. Yeah, when I was in boot camp, the saying was hydrate or die.
Yeah, that's true.
So like every night before bed, you open up your canteen and you sit, and everyone yells hydrate or die, and then you gotta chug the whole thing, nice. And then you gotta turn it over, and like it has to be empty. If it's not empty, then they fuck you up on the quarter deck.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that's good. What was the other thing? You said water, and then what was...
Walking.
Walking, yeah.
I think a lot of people, when it comes to their journey, I think that they want to add so much. So they're like, I have to clean up my diet. No sugar, no this, no that. I have to go to the gym 6 days a week. I need to run. And it's just, everyone goes so extreme.
Yeah.
When really, walking is the best. To me, this is an opinion. But there is science behind it that walking is the best way to, not only keep your body in shape, but to burn fat, because it's low impact. It's something that anyone can do. And it doesn't burn off your muscle. Like, I love running. I love sprints. There's a time and a place for them, though, because if you do it too often, you can run off your muscle.
Yeah. You're...
Yeah. Just at some point, and that's not for everybody. There's running athletes like your brother, he's I've seen him. He's jacked.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that he runs a lot. And I think it just having the right diet based on what style athlete you are matters. But for an everyday lifestyle client or someone who's just trying to build muscle and burn fat and maintain a muscular physique, walking 100% is so underrated.
Yeah, so walking, like, let's say you finish your workout, you're trying to get, you're not trying to be like a competitive athlete, but you want to look good, feel good, be strong. Would you just recommend like incline walking on the treadmill for like 15 or 20 minutes?
Yeah, incline walking's great. Even just no incline is great.
Okay.
I think 20 minutes for a minimum, I think is good. I think
minimum 20
yeah, I mean that's an opinion.
Yeah.
If I was to take on a client, I would probably have them start at a couple days a week, 20 minutes. And then based on their goals, we would either increase the time or increase the days. You just kind of manipulate and play.
Yeah.
But I always like to start with less so that we can add more. You never want to start with more.
Yeah.
Because then you have to add more. And that can be a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I usually do incorporate some type of cardio throughout the week. And then in the office, my brother and I, we're pretty good about it. I would say out of the Monday through Friday, probably 3-4 times a week, we'll leave the office, go grab coffee, walk around. And,
nice.
Yeah.
You're in a good spot for that.
Yeah. And I think it's good. Walking is just good to get away from the desk and clear your mind.
Mentally.
Yeah. A lot of our thoughts and ideas happen on our walks.
Right. Same with me. Yeah. And I'll listen to a podcast or, I love motivational speeches. They help me like with how I speak to people. But yeah, walking, it's more than just physical, it's mental. It's kind of my me time.
Yeah.
Like that's a non-negotiable for me. I get in my steps every day. I don't necessarily have to label it cardio, but just getting out and moving.
Yeah, that's good. Wow. What about rest days? Do you believe in those or
needed, or? No, rest and recovery is crucial. Especially if you're trying to build muscle, which these days, that's what people want. They want to build muscle. They want to be strong. They want to look strong.
Yeah.
And recovery is another thing that is just so underutilized. Recovery is more than just resting though. Like recovery to me is your nutrition, how you're fueling your body, when you're fueling your body. Water is a form of recovery to me. Sleeping's really important. That's your main source of recovery. And then taking rest days off from training. When I'm in season, rest days, sometimes I don't have any, depending on how far out from a show I am. Sometimes I have 1 day, sometimes I have 2. Currently in my off season, I'm about 7 weeks post my last show. I have 2 rest days, and my rest days are active rest days. So sometimes on my rest days, I'll still go get my steps in and do my cardio. Other times I won't do anything, but it's real. Like, I won't lie. It's hard. Yeah. It's very hard. I feel like I'm lazy if I don't do something, but recovery is, it's a must. Nice. When you're trying to build a body.
What about, like for like average person, lifestyle, fitness person, they work out 4 or 5 times a week. Like, what do you rest days for that? Should it be twice a week, once a week? In the middle of the week or like on the weekend?
For lifestyle, I definitely think once, twice a week is great. It really just kind of depends on the person.
Yeah.
I think that like you can either plan it, or it can be like, okay, Wednesday's going to be crazy for me. I'm going to take my rest day on Wednesday. Yeah. And then Saturday also looks a little bit crazy. So I think maybe Saturday is going to be my rest day. I personally like to take 2 back-to-back rest days. That's okay. But sometimes that doesn't fit my schedule. So it really just, like, I don't think there's just like a one way. Yeah. It really depends on the person's life and their lifestyle and their work and kids and, when they can get it in versus days that realistically need to be a rest day based off of their schedule.
I like that mentality because especially, it's easy when you're single and all you have is yourself to worry about. I like if you have a spouse and kids and work and or a business. Like right now, all my kids are sick, so my wife's at home taking care of them. Sorry. Yeah, it's like she can't really. It's tough. I'm gonna go. I after this, I'm gonna go home so she can go work out because she's been at home all week. But,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. You just kind of play it by ear.
Yeah, I feel like if you, again, it goes back to what I was talking about earlier with people adding things to their plate. If you make it too rigid, especially lifestyle clients, if it's too rigid,
I'm not gonna do it.
yeah, it's just going to be a bummer.
Yeah.
So you're better off just going with the flow and figuring out week by week, like sitting down and looking like, okay, this is going to be my rest day. These are going to be my training days. And then week by week, you just plan it out.
Yeah, that's good. All right. So we talked about non-negotiables. Okay. So let's get into Hennesy Fitness. So what inspired you to start Hennesy Fitness? And what is Hennesy Fitness?
So Hennesy Fitness is a strength and high intensity focused fitness studio. We definitely specialize in like building muscle. My goal as the owner is not to shrink my students down to the smallest version of themselves. It's to build them up to the largest version of themselves, both physically and mentally. So we're not just shaping bodies, we're shaping minds as well. Nice. I'm really big on mindset. Yeah. I definitely like pound it into my students' heads. I'm yelling, screaming, talking the entire class, making sure that not one person in the room is going to let back. And the second I see someone trying to, I yell louder. I call it aggressive passion. But Hennesy Fitness is definitely purely strength. We're not, we have Pilates infusion, I guess you could say. And even in some of our classes, we might incorporate some form of like mindfulness around yoga. But it's mostly like, I don't want to say the word bodybuilding because I feel like some people take that the wrong way, but that's essentially what we're doing, building bodies. What inspired me to start Hennesy, I like this question a lot, is honestly like my community, my students. It was always a dream to open a fitness brand, but it wasn't a big enough dream for me to like go and tackle it until people started coming to me saying like, you have to do this. You'll crush it. I remember being scared and thinking, what if I put all this money and effort into opening a business and nobody comes? And they would like laugh at me. Like, that's not going to happen. Yeah. People are going to come. And I just kind of approached it like I did any other competition season. Like, I'm just going to do this. And there's really there's no way it's not going to work. I'm going to make it work. Yeah. So I put both feet in and I just jumped. But yeah, overall it was my students, it was my fitness family, my people who really pushed me to open Hennesy Fitness. That's
great. Yeah, and that's awesome. And for sure, like you definitely had those thoughts like, what if this doesn't work out? What if I still have them? What if I go broke? What if I can't make the brand? It's like, then what? So what? I go back to what I was doing before. Yeah. And try again yeah. That's cool. Is Hennesy Fitness, I've heard of F45. Is it similar to that or is it like totally different?
So F45, I think it's like HIIT training. I've actually never done HIIT.
I've never done either.
I think it's like a HIIT training and they do everything in like 45 minutes.
Okay, got it.
So we do have some 45-minute classes later in the day for people who work late, but they don't really want the full hour. We have a couple, we call them express classes. But I don't think Hennessy's like anywhere else. I think you could go to an F45 or Orange Theory or any other studio in this town and you could literally dip into each one individually and then come to us and you'd be like, wow, I've never done something like that before. Nice. At least that's what the feedback that I get from most people. But yeah, we're definitely our own, like I like to think of us as our own individual beast.
That's great.
Beast of a being.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it out. I haven't been. Yeah. I did your classes when you were at Hotspot, and those were fun. Yeah. So this is more intense than it sounds like.
My classes there were also intense. It was that heated environment, and I always taught in high intensity variation of Pilates. But this is definitely like, I'm not calling it Pilates. It is more strength focused, but it's similar in the sense that it's hot. And I'm going to kick your ass.
And there's fire music, right?
And there's good music. And we have different genres. We play rap. We play techno. We definitely mix it up. It's good music, though. We don't edit things. I try to make sure that it's not too provocative. But, yeah, we keep it really raw. And really we're very
You got the parental advisory when
right. We need to have that like scrolling on the webpage.
Nice. Okay, so you talked about what makes Hennesy Fitness different from other gyms. What do you like most about being a business owner?
That's again, like honestly, the community, my students. It's amazing when I'm in that room coaching to see every single person in there of different, different past, different futures, just all different style people, literally throwing themselves on the ground and getting back up and sweating from the pits of hell. And not one of them is letting back. The community is definitely one of the first things that come to mind. Just my fitness family. We are a real unit. It's a bunch of men and women, like-minded. We all just want to be strong, feel confident, feel good, live long, be able to move. But also another, the financial part of it, I am able to support my family better than I was before. And that is a huge, not only relief, but it's a big perk of being a business owner. Is being able to like I know that I'm going to be able to send my kids to school or take them to Costa Rica on a surf trip. And then also like being able to save money for the future. That's a big blessing and being a business owner as well. It's just the financial, not freedom, because I'm not free financially, but stability.
Yeah, those are that's good stuff. Those are some of the pros. What are some of the struggles of being a business owner that you deal with on a weekly, monthly, yearly?
My main struggle is, I think it's the bodybuilder mentality that I have, is just like never feeling good enough. Like I always feel like I have to be one step ahead, because if I'm not, I'm 10 steps behind. So it's kind of like, for me, it's like an obsession to a sense. So the struggles are definitely just always coming up with new, creative ways to make us unique, to make us stand out, to make sure that we're separate from other, I want us to have our own individual identity as Hennesy Fitness. So it's just, it's kind of the obsessiveness around every day, making sure that we are always, no matter what, leveling up. I would say that's a struggle. And just another struggle is, honestly, it's funny, I'm sure a lot of other fitness studio owners would agree, is the schedule. The schedule is forever the death of me, trying to please everybody and making sure we're putting classes at certain times and where people want it. That's an ever going stressor for sure, but you figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. The constantly wanting to get better and all that stuff. I struggle with that too. Yeah. I've gotten better at, just learning to be like grateful for where we're at and cause you see like the thing in the future, but then once you have it, it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
What's important is like the journey.
The pursuit.
Yeah. Like, you could get first place or third place or 10th place in a bodybuilding competition, but at the end of the day, the plaque that you get or whatever, it's whatever, the journey and the coaching and the crying and the puking and the working out.
Right.
That's the shit that, really
builds you.
Yeah. That's good. Is it, do you, and specifically in your industry, is it easy to keep staff, or is there like turnover constantly, or how's that?
It's been, since I've opened, I have a really strong team. So, no, it hasn't been a big turnover. I train each of my coaches before they come on. One of the main reasons I like to train them myself, even if they come in with prior training, is, again, Hennesy Fitness is just different than any other studio. Like when you've come to my classes, but you haven't come to Hennesy yet.
I will.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And I'm excited.
We're taking tailoring. We're taking Clay.
Yeah. I cannot wait for you guys to come in. But I like to train my coaches to make sure that it's not only like leading a good class, but like being able to speak to the students and get into their heads in a positive way and really teach them, not just, again, we're not just shaping bodies. I'm trying to really impact people's actual lives and how they perceive and look at themselves and other people.
Yeah.
So I always make sure that our coaches know how to entertain a room in a way that makes every single person, when they walk out of that class, I always say this is them on their phone signing up for the next one, signing up for the next class.
Yeah. That's...
You know, just making it a true experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause you gotta be kind of, I feel like if you're leading a class, you can just scream at everyone and that might work, but you also got to be like methodical. Like sometimes you don't need to scream. Sometimes you walk up and like you whisper, it's like, are you really putting, you know, your best effort here?
Yeah.
Like, let's step it up. You got it. Or someone needs to be yelled at. Like,
yeah.
Push, motherfucker.
Exactly. That's
like,
me as the coach.
No,
yeah. We are unapologetically, you know, in there. But yeah, it's just the mindset around the coaches has to be that of like a leader, you know? And I think for some coaches, they don't look at themselves that way because they're like just in a shell. So when I bring my coaches on, I'm definitely breaking that shell so that they can break all the student shells. Like everyone has to come in there completely broken. You know, I don't want anyone unbroken. We're all broken. And that's what really allows you to get out. Yeah.
That's cool. Where do you see Hennesy Fitness in the next couple of years? Do you want to just focus on one, or is your plans to expand?
I want to expand, definitely. I want to be like a brand.
Nice.
So right now the goal is just really getting a clean cut idea on what our identity is and making sure that when you hear the words Hennesy Fitness, you can get a visualization. That was a hard word to say. Of what it looks like, what the students look like, what the coaches look like, what a class should feel like when you go there. And then, yeah, I do want to expand. I would like to have several. I would like to take over Northeast Florida if I could. So goals are definitely expansion. Just see how many lives I can impact. I'd like to impact millions.
That's cool.
Yeah, if I can. I know that's a big number, but let's cool. Go.
Yeah. I could, yeah, definitely. You can have different fitness studios in like Ponte Vedra and Jacksonville.
Exactly. Yeah. Gainesville.
Yeah. So does that you would just have to have team members that really like you have like a good systems in place to where it's like consistent? Do you want like every studio to be the same or like unique depending on like the city? Because like Miami will be way different than St. Augustine.
Yeah.
Different.
Bigger, broader.
Yeah.
My plan is to create my team of coaches. My plan is to help each of them level up in the industry as well as I have. It's hard to make a living in the fitness industry. And my goal is to make Hennesy such a brand that I can help my coaches really like make it a sustainable lifestyle financially. So my plan is to have like certain coaches will come on as like, you know, directors of like organizing things. I'll have people come up hire as like managers. I want to have what I call master trainers, which would be my coaches who train the new trainers to come on to each studio. I like the idea of, you know, like St. Augustine location being more beach vibe. And then, you know, Jacksonville, maybe we make it more like, you know, each studio will have the same look. But it'll have its little twist based on where it's at. Yeah. I think that would definitely make it cool.
That's cool. Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that was it for the main questions. I got some rapid fire questions. You ready?
Okay.
Coffee or pre-workout?
Coffee.
And you said black, or no, you said with cream. Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Zen yoga class or hip hop Pilates?
Hip hop Pilates.
For sure, yeah. How important is stretching? And kind of go into that a little bit because that's
stretching is very important. I mean, without stretching, you're gonna be a wreck. I think that taking the time, you know, we always designate 5 to 10 minutes at the end of each class to stretch. But stretching at home, like it's part of recovery. Stretching, foam rolling, even something as simple as taking like an Epsom salt bath. Helps with muscle recovery, but stretching definitely. If you're consistently loading the muscles and shortening them, which is essentially what you're doing when you're training, you're lengthening, shortening, and then you're not taking the time to recover and prepare for the next go round, I think that you can only get so far.
Yeah.
Until you're truly like a wreck and it hurts to move.
What are some, so basically whatever you're doing, running, lifting, prepping for bodybuilding competition, you should always be stretching, right?
Oh yeah.
And do you stretch before or after you work out, or both?
So when it comes to your work, I like more of a dynamic stretch before a workout. So it's more about like warming the muscles. So not like static holds. It's more just like moving around to warm up.
Like lifts, not lunges.
Yeah. Lunges, walking lunges, even some air squats. I like using resistance bands a little bit before a workout. Even resist like loops to like do some kickbacks, just more like warming the muscles rather than stretching them.
Yeah.
So that's like my routine before a workout. And then afterwards, that's when you do your more static holds, like longer holding stretches to really get deep into that lengthened.
Cool. Yeah, I'll start incorporating that. So I just want to touch on the diet stuff again. So like, if you're just doing lifestyle working out, like you want to be in good shape, what are some things that you've noticed just eliminating, like that you recommend eliminating, or at least like dialing way back?
Yeah. So.
Or adding things.
Yeah. To me, there's no bad foods. Like even sugar, sugar is deemed like bad foods. Processed foods, they're deemed bad. Are they good? Are they bad? I think that there's just a time and a place for them. I think it's totally fine if you want to go out and have a donut. I'm a big believer in tracking, but realistically, not everyone is going to track.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to track.
Yeah, especially lifestyle. And like, I think for some people, it really takes away from the enjoyment of food. And food is to be enjoyed. Like it's in certain seasons, it's fuel. And then in other seasons, it's life. So things that I think would help people who are trying to start off their fitness journey is to not eliminate too much at once. I think that's where people really fall back is, again, they add so much when really it's just process of elimination to clean up your diet. So I don't want to say cut out sugar, but I would lessen it. I would plan for it. So rather than, having sugar in your diet every day, maybe you pick 1 or 2 days out of the week where you treat yourself. I would limit it. I would, sometimes we go overboard binging. I've done that. But the processed foods, the sugars, definitely limiting them. I don't think they're bad and you can never have them again. I don't like to label things like that because I think that's what creates a toxic, like disordered kind of eating. Mainly just focusing on whole foods, things that have once lived.
Yeah.
I would say like I like the 80-20 or the 90-10 rule. That's kind of how I like in my off seasons when I'm not competing. Basically Sunday through Thursday, I stick to a plan of whole foods. I'm eat very, very clean. I stick to, clean proteins, chicken, ground turkey breast, lean red meats. My carb sources are super clean. I love cream of rice. A lot of people don't know what that is, but it's really good. Oatmeal, rice, sweet potatoes, and then of course your veggies. I load my plate with veggies, asparagus, green beans, broccoli, things like that. That's what my diet consists of Sunday through Thursday. Egg whites, not forget those. And then on the weekends, I don't have a free day. I have all the way, I'll pick a meal based off of what me and my family are doing. If we want to go to breakfast one day, I'll have my breakfast meal. I won't track it. I'll have what I want. If I want pancakes, I'll have pancakes. And then the rest of the day, I eat clean. I stick to a plan. Or if we go to dinner, same thing. I eat clean leading up to dinner. So I think it's just creating habits around eating whole foods, but then still having the foods you enjoy. Because if you don't, when you get around them, it's going to be game over.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I like that mentality because I think that's a realistic way to look at it.
Yeah.
I think if you just
normal, you don't want to obsess too much because I've been that person who has been so incredibly disciplined and regimented that it backfired on me. And I think that happens for a lot of people.
Yeah, it can turn you off for sure. Yeah. That's super cool, Amber. Thanks for sharing everything. If people, where's your gym located? How can people get in touch with you? Share some info for the listeners.
Yeah, so we are located in the Marshalls Plaza in the 312 area of St. Augustine. Right now we don't have signage above the building, but I'm working on getting that very soon. So we're kind of like it's almost like a speakeasy, like it's kind of hidden, but that's where we're located. I have an Instagram page, Hennesy Fitness, same with Facebook. We have our website, and that's pretty much how the website and the app is where you can look at the schedule, look at the class descriptions.
And if people want to try a class, is there any promos or anything for?
Yes. So we have our intro. The first class is free. So everyone, their first class is free.
Cool.
Yeah, so they can test it out, test drive.
And do you do like monthly or weekly, or you can pick and choose? It's all
so we have class credits. Mm-hmm. We have a 4 class credit pass and an 8.
Okay.
And then we have our all-in membership, which is unlimited classes. We do have a weekly option too, and you can go month to month, or you can sign up for like the auto pay. Yeah.
Super cool. Well, I'm trying a class here soon. I hope you guys do too.